appreciate you joining us on this beautiful October morning. We have a brief ceremony today as we celebrate the groundbreaking for our new Health Sciences Research Center. Before I ask our chairman of the Board of Trustees to come forward and then our president to offer remarks, there are a few additional acknowledgments that we would like to make here at the top this morning. We recognize those of you who are here this morning who are making this building project possible, and also pleased to have some of our elected officials as guests today. Just as we have all been working hard on campus to mitigate COVID-19 and carry out our educational mission, these elected officials are working with their constituencies to balance economic activity with health and safety guidelines across our state. We would like to recognize our friends from the Brevard delegation to Florida's legislature. Representative Randy Fine, thank you for being here. Representative Thad Altman as well, thank you. Ms. Lindsay Swindle, representing Senator Tom Wright. Florida Tech appreciates your hard work in Tallahassee supporting our projects, including perhaps equipment for this building in the future, and of course, the all-important research for our Indian River Lagoon. We also have joining us this morning Melbourne Mayor Kathy Meehan. Thank you, Madam Mayor. And Palm Bay Mayor William Capote. Thank you, sir. And thank you both for your ongoing support of Florida Tech. We also want to acknowledge some of our community partners and friends. David Wilkinson, City Engineer for the City of Melbourne. Thank you, sir. Chief Chuck Bogle, City of Melbourne Fire Chief. Thank you, Chief. Also joining us a bit later for the shovel ceremony, Kevin Ivey of Ivey's Construction. Thank you, Mr. Ivey. Angelina Wheeler-Chong of Meldy Studio Architecture. Thank you, ma'am. Andy Kerbach, Site Engineer of Morgan & Associates. Thank you, Mr. Kerbach. And some quick acknowledgments for our Florida Tech Senior Administrative Team that are here today. Dr. Marco Carvalho, Executive Vice President and Provost. Dr. Michael Greaves, Executive Vice President for Operations and Interim CFO. Mr. Bino Campanini, Senior Vice President of Student Affairs and Alumni Affairs. Gary Grant, Senior Vice President of Development. Dr. Dan Kirk, Interim Dean of the College of Engineering and Science. Stacy Gordon, Senior Director of Operations. We have several members of our faculty here as well. Our faculty who are, of course, the lifeblood of our institution. Will our faculty please wave as well? Thank you for your time this morning in supporting this important event. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Mr. Rob Themis, Chairman of the Florida Tech Board of Trustees. Mr. Phoebus is an alumnus of Florida Tech. In 2008, after 32 years of service with Ford, he retired as Chief Financial Officer of Ford's subsidiary in South Africa. Mr. Rob Themis.
Thank you very much, Wes. Is this mic set up so I can...
Yes, sir, we hear you.
Okay, good. Good morning, everyone. As Wes said, my name is Rob Phoebus. I'm Chairman of the Board of Trustees here at Florida Tech. And as he pointed out, more importantly, I represent just one of the more than 60,000 alumni that have benefited from the educational opportunities that this institution has presented itself over the last 62 years. Counted among us are captains of industry, admirals and generals of the military, politicians and civic leaders, some are included among us today, astronauts and explorers, educators and entrepreneurs, inventors, doctors, lawyers, even medal-winning Olympians and a World Series champion. And to think this outstanding education came about because of the vision of one man and a 37-cent donation. When Florida Tech began in 1958 as Brevard Engineering College, our founder, Dr. Jerry Cooper, had a vision to create a college that would support America's success and achievements in the race for space. Our motto at Astra per Scientia, literally at that time, which means to the stars through science, has a more significant meaning. It reflects our relentless and ever-expanding, never-ending pursuit to be a premier STEM university that provides the high-quality education necessary to meet the boundless opportunities and the ever-changing challenges of the future. And if you look around us today, I mean, when I was first a freshman and stepped foot on this campus 50 years ago, this was all wide open territory. Everything was north of the University Boulevard area, and the buildings were half the number. 37 cents today has become over $300 million worth of assets that support our mission. Presently, however, we are in the midst of several of those ever-changing challenges that I mentioned. The general state of higher education is at a crossroads. Declining student age population, changing migration patterns, and consumer angst for the cost and value of a college education are providing additional pressure on universities to maintain their enrollments and to sustain their business models. Many smaller private universities have already closed their doors because they no longer can thrive. Others soon may follow suit. The corona pandemic has compounded the situation further by forcing universities to quickly adapt their methods to transfer knowledge while still maintaining a meaningful educational experience. This comes with added cost, and it is not likely to be offset with higher revenues. Despite this environment, we see a bright future for Florida Tech. Our university has evolved by offering training in the high-demand fields that provide rewarding and well-paid careers for our students. And we will continue to invest and grow in these high-potential areas. As an example of this commitment, today we are breaking ground on a new state-of-the-art facility that will enhance our educational opportunities in biomedical engineering, pre-med, and health science research. According to the United States Bureau of Labor Statistics, these fields are projected to grow by 5% annually during the next 10 years, a rate that is faster than the average growth expected for all occupations. And the median income last year for a biomedical engineer was more than $90,000. The Association of American Medical Colleges also has reported that by the end of that 10-year period, the United States will be facing substantial shortages in physicians and other medical specialists. This new health science facility that we're embarking on today will enable Florida Tech to nearly double the enrollment of our health science programs to help meet this demand. Now, this pandemic has delayed the start of our project, but it gave us time to assure that we are financially fit to proceed with our plans. The circumstances also reinforced our belief in the studies that I mentioned that the future demand will be increasing significantly for highly qualified health science professionals. We now expect to complete construction on this facility by December of 2021. I'm hopeful, however, that with the favorable cooperation of our great Florida weather and the support of our construction partners at Ivy, that we will be able to begin use of the Health Science Center during the fall semester of next year. I thank you all for coming today and participating in this exciting event. I hope we have the opportunity roughly a year from now that we can ask all of you back for a grand opening of the new facility. And I'll turn it back over to Wes
to introduce Dr. McKay, who is the one who has had the vision for this facility for several years. And I'm extremely proud of the Board of Trustees for being able to identify the means to make it a reality. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Dr. Dwayne McKay became Provost and Chief Academic Officer at Florida Tech in 2003 after a distinguished career spanning NASA, industry, and higher education. A rocket scientist by training, he also served as Executive Vice President before becoming President in 2016. He continues to lead Florida Tech boldly into the future. Please welcome President Dwayne McKay.
Well, first of all, I want to thank the trustees that came this morning to stand out in the sun with us, because it is a huge moment for this university, absolutely. And I think Brian Crane's here. I saw him, Dale Detmer, Bobby Dyer, and there's Pete too. He's not a trustee though. John Hewitt, Randy Munns, Bill Potter, Alan Presswood, Travis Proctor, Ken Rebe, Alan Smith, Mike Shaw, and Doug Flutie was going to make it, so I haven't seen him yet, but he might be here. You know, we talk about the vision. In August, actually August 14th of 2014, I had double knee replacement. And any of you that know anyone that's had that, first of all, to have double is, I was discouraged from doing that, but I wanted to get it all over with at one time. And so, but it gave me 10 days to lie on my back and look at my phone or my laptop or whatever. And at that time, I was already discussing ever so slightly the possibility of a College of Medicine here to associate itself with Florida Tech. And so during that downtime of 10 days or so, I did the research, and I concluded that the biomedical field, particularly for us, biomedical engineering, was something that would make a huge difference in our ability to provide the talent and the educated individuals that the United States, and for that matter the world, needed. So that's when the dream was born, and it stayed dormant for quite a while, off and on being brought up. We talked to the trustees about it, and then you know, Mr. Phoebus actually provided the impetus to push it over the top, and they said, well, let's see how we can do. Let's see what we can do to find the money to build this. It's not an inexpensive building. Once we fill it with equipment, it'll be worth a lot more than it is just from the construction. But without his push to move forward, we wouldn't have been able to do this. Now, we've been waiting for, I guess, over a year to actually pull the trigger on a groundbreaking, and that's because of the COVID crisis. And I think that some of you realize how significant that crisis is to all companies, all industries, but to an educational institution where you have 5,500 young people running around who are not as fearful of some things as the rest of us are, it becomes extra difficult. And, you know, Bino Campanini and a big team put together a plan so that we could open. And some of the big decisions that were made to try to make them work. And then Marco Carvalho was the guy given the assignment to execute. And planning, you know, Joe Caruso once, one of our trustees who's not here yet, said, you know, the McKay, your planning is great, your execution isn't so good. And so I thought, he's right. So I got an executioner. Maybe that's a poor choice of words for you. The people that know Marco well understand that joke better than others. But so we got the financing done. Our CFO was able to get a bond issue through that allowed us to set aside the $18 million or so that we needed. The trustees approved it. At the same time, we're changing our enterprise system. So I'd say, and I really believe this, hopefully this crisis will be over by next fall. I'm sure it won't have left us completely. And at that point in time, we will be ready to move to the next level in terms of a university. People that know us well know that we produce outstanding graduates. People that don't know us so well just don't know us. So I think one of our goals is to make sure that people do know. And putting this building up in this time of crisis is going to make a difference. There's another building that'll be going up, and that's the Mertens Marine Research Center down at the Anchorage, and that will start in the next few months. We just finished a new alumni house. So in spite of all the issues, in spite of all the difficulties, in spite of having to wear these and social distance and scrub your hands and do all the things that everyone's trying to do, we're moving forward. And you know, our trustees make that possible by being helpful and supportive, and we have a great senior staff that has done the same. Most of them work together so well that it's just amazing. You know, I could talk about how well Gary Grant has done, and you know, Wes Sumner, and so many of the people that have done a great job. And our alumni, like Andy and Dr. Clage and Son and others, have been so helpful with making this reality. So I just want to tell everybody that we're moving forward, that I think in a year from now, maybe 2 years from now, we're going to be a whole nother level of university. We've been growing. We've had growing pains. Everyone does. And it's, you know, it's interesting to go from the mom and pop shop that Dr. Cooper put together 60 years ago to, you know, a thriving, full-service university with dining halls and multiple residence halls and classroom facilities and research labs. But this building is going to take us another level, another step. And in 2 years, actually a little over 2 years, we're going to have a medical school that will open on this campus. And the students that go through this program, and which will be biomedical engineering students and also pre-med students, if they do well, they get automatic admission into this school. Now that's huge, and it's, you know, you can work your tail off and then not get into med school, and because it's not an easy thing to do. So that's going to be a huge plus for the kids that, and I shouldn't call them kids, I apologize, for the students that want to come here and study. So we found a good partner in Ivy's, been very impressed with what they do. I don't know if they can meet Rob's goal and open us next August or not, but it's a good goal to have. And we should have probably written some incentives into it so that, you know, I was more worried about penalties, and I should have been more worried about incentives, but this is going to make a difference in our university, no doubt about it. So Wesley, I'll turn it back if I may, and thank you all very much.
Thank you, President McKay. One dignitary that I failed to point out here, and let me correct that oversight, Pete the Panther has joined us as well. Thank you, Pete, for being here. He'll be joining us for some photographs as well at the conclusion. Now it's time for the moment of truth as we wrap up our ceremony here this morning, and we have a shovel brigade to officially throw dirt for our new Health Sciences Research Center. So I will politely invite the following individuals to please join me, beginning here and working down the line. First, of course, President McKay, Chairman Phoebus, Vice Chairman Proctor, Dr. Carvalho, Mr. Kevin Ivey, Miss Angelina Wheeler-Chom, Mr. Andy Kerbach, and Miss Stacy Gordon. And as they assemble and put on their hard hats, we will have our photographer step forward as well, Mr. Mike Brown, and he's going to give some instructions as we all get settled here to officially throw dirt on this auspicious day.
1, 2, 3, throw!
Thank you all so much for being here this morning. We appreciate you. And go Panthers!